And now it's time for another exciting episode of Blackmailing YouTube People. So, today's blackmail will be against Jimmy31428, who claims to hate Infernape. Well, we've got photographic evidence from an anonymous person whose name is shown here. We changed the name slightly to protect the innocent. So anyways, here's the picture that they shot. So, Jimmy, do you really hate Infernape? Right. Okay, battle here with Danny. Wait, what? So anyway, I send out my Weavile, and he's like, yeah, I just watched your video, I know exactly what that thing's gonna do. So, Weavile starts plotting his nastiness and whatnot, and then he just gives me some tea and paralyzes my Weavile, and Weavile's just like, whatever, I'm used to getting paralyzed, it's fine. Somehow at the end of the battle I was end up getting healed anyways. So anyway, I Dark Pulse, and then he sets up a Reflecting Light Screen, and I'm like, whatever, and I set up another Ice Beam because I pretty much do everything I did in the last battle here. Had he not had the light screen, that would have killed. So anyway, he brings out this thing, and I switch to my Poliwrath because I'm tired of the screens. So I break his bricks, and he's like, you know what? You need to knock it off. I spent a long time building those walls. So he gets rid of my leftovers, and he steals them. And then I just make water fall on top of the stupid turtle thing, and yeah, I don't know why it's named It Me. So anyway, he brings out some rocks and sets them up around my Poliwrath, and Poliwrath's like, you know what, I don't want your frickin' rocks. So now he decides to step another barrier, and somehow I can't penetrate this one with Earthquake. So it must pass those building codes and whatnot. So now he brings out a Metagross, and I make water fall on top of the Metagross, but the Metagross is like, whatever with it, because Metagross is just Metagross. So Metagross goes to mash some meteors into my Poliwrath, but he misses somehow because he's not a dragon, and only dragons can summon meteors from the sky. So anyways, I quick the earth, and the Metagross is still somehow living. And then I bring out my Gay Weavile as death because, you know, Gay Weavile just kind of has to die. He's too happy being paralyzed and whatnot to stay alive, so yeah. He dies, paralyzed, and he wants to come back someday, and he shall. So now I bring out my Absol because I figure I don't care what he does, he's probably going to die anyway. So I superpower and he dies because Metagross just can't handle the power of Absol. So, now that Absol has owned some face, in comes another Stantler again, and I'm like, well, I can probably kill it with superpower, but he goes into a Shedinja, and this thing screws me over the entire match. So, now I bring out my Heracross, which is sitting, because Banana told me to name it that, because Banana named one that. So he's fearing some type of Stone Edge or something, and goes to his Stantler, but I just go for a close combat after this, because I figure, well, even if I'm intimidated, I can still kill it, even with the Reflect 2, because Stantler just doesn't take super effective stab hits that well. So, his Stantler can't intimidate my Heracross enough for that. So, now that my Heracross has eaten some leftovers, the Starmie comes out, and I'm thinking, oh, okay. And then he Psychics, and I'm like, who carries Psychic on a freaking Starmie? Even I don't do that! So yeah, that's a nice surprise there. I mean, come on, what? So now I go into my Absol thinking maybe he's choiced in some way, and maybe he isn't, I don't know. So I Rock Slide, and it misses, because obviously that's what it's going to do twice, and he decides to knock off my Choice Band, which doesn't necessarily suck that much. I mean, I kind of wish I had it still, but whatever. He gets rid of my headband, and I try to cut him psychotically, but it doesn't work because he protects himself somehow. He tries to do it again, but this time I get closer with my little knife thing on my head and I cut him, and it does like nothing to him. Because he's a turtle, and he just withdrew into his shell that he apparently can withdraw into because he's a box turtle. So I decide to Rock Slide again, but he decides to switch into Donphan because Donphan's a freaking beast and I hate it. And the Reflect also didn't help because, yeah, look how much the Sucker Punch didn't do. So now that my Sucker Punch has been wasted and my Absol has been wasted, I have now lost one of my few things that I can do to that stupid Shedinja. This is the other thing that can do anything to Shedinja. So he Ice Shards, and I'm surprised at how little this does, but I'm able to kill it off with a Bug Buzz. And since he watched my last video, he knows that this thing is specs. So he just goes into his Shedinja to intimidate me with more crap, because it seems like people who watch my videos sometimes know my Pokemon, other times they don't. So I go into my Claydol for whatever reason, and he burns it for whatever reason. And I have no idea why I went to Claydol. It can't even touch this thing, but then again, I guess I just had to switch out, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The only thing I have that can actually hit this stupid Shedinja is my Venomoth, and it's going to end up being... So he X Scissors after I set up Reflect and gets a crit. Yeah, those competitive battlers, we have to complain about hacks unless we're getting it. So anyway, I bring out my Venomoth, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know, maybe he doesn't have any priority moves, but he's a Shedinja, so of course he has priority moves. So I go for Hidden Power Fire, and he hits down to his Sash, which, not surprising. And then he just kills me with Shadow Sneak, and I'm like, ugh, God, I swear. So now I bring out my Poliwrath, and for some reason he switches to his Shuckle, and I Ice Punch. And at this point I figured, well, you've seen all 4 of my moves, and I called that freeze in my head. And, I mean, he tries to de-thaw and protect and whatnot, but I don't understand what he's trying to do. I mean, it's not like he can really do anything with his little Shuckle thing, because, I mean, whatever. So I make Waterfall on top of it, and I eventually either kill it or he withdraws to... No, I kill it. And yeah. Now he brings out a Shedinja, and I am now screwed because I can't do junk to this thing. So he sneaks around in the shadows and whatnot. He attacks me with his... whatever jutsu thing is from Naruto, because everybody loves a good Naruto reference, no? Hey, Sensei! What are those black bars that appear at the bottom and the top of the screen? Oh, that had to make our show look awesome. Oh, I thought they were there to hide the subtitles, maybe. No, I'm sure it's another thing I said. So anyways, he keeps getting stats and I'm tired of that, so I just run away because I'm tired of waiting for him to kill me. So yeah, good game, CHINOINBB, or whatever your name is called.